Hi everyone, Chris back with another recent vinyl finds video. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here, all New Zealand material to rip through. There's quite a bit and haven't got much time, so we'll just get straight into it, eh? This is what's playing now and it's fantastic. This is the new LP from Bailterspace, Strobosphere. It just came out yesterday. It's been released on Arch Hill Records in New Zealand and Fire Records in the UK. They're down to a two-piece now. There's a little insert there. Yeah, so now you've got original members Alistair Parker, Brent McLaughlin, and as I say, a two-piece. It's still classic Bailterspace. I read a review of this that said it could have been released 20 years ago, and that's no bad thing, and I agree. If you like this band, then this fits right within there with what they do, and it's a great thing. There's some really fantastic songs on here as well, and it kind of came out of the blue really that Bailterspace would release another LP, but boy am I happy to see it, and really loving it. It's highly recommended. This is Richard, what's his name? Yeah, Peter Wright, and the LP is called Let's Hide Under the House Until They've Gone, and Peter Wright is a musician from Christchurch, and he does these kind of long, drony, ambient pieces, and this is one of a trilogy of records which is focused around the Christchurch earthquakes. This was recorded after the first big earthquake, but just before the second. In fact, he received the test pressings and listened to them just moments before the second big earthquake hit in Christchurch. So the title alludes to the earthquakes. Let's Hide Under the House Until They've Gone, and this is guitar and bass. They say long ambient drone pieces. He's pretty prolific, this guy, and not that well known in New Zealand. I'd like to check out some more of that. Maxine Funke, Felt, one of two records I've got here, released on Epic Sweep Records in pressings of just 100. Maxine Funke is kind of very kind of naive, indie, well not naive, sorry, probably incorrect the lyrics, but indie, what we call it, indie folk. Just her and guitar, her piano, not much more, very bare bones. She's a partner of Alistair Galbraith, who's known for a lot of his kind of experimental music, but this is nothing like that, although it has that same kind of, I suppose, I kind of want to say steampunk, but it's not really steampunk, but it's just this kind of, I suppose, kind of looking back to the past to find inspiration for today, and yeah, nice pick up there. I went to see the Dead Sea play last weekend, which is always an event, and there is some new, well not new Dead Sea material, but their classic harsh 70s reality is being reissued by Silkbreeze. Unfortunately it wasn't available yet, but Bruce Russell was peddling this, which is from the Dead Sea. Bruce Russell peddling one of his most recent solo LP from a couple of years ago. Like many Bruce Russell releases and labels, almost unpronounceable titles. This is Antikythera Mechanism, three drony performance pieces, and this is on the Spring Press, and it's on 200 gram white vinyl. Not Given Lightly is a compilation from German label More Music, MORR. This is a triple LP, and the first three sides are covers of classic New Zealand, well, classic indie New Zealand music, a lot of Flying Nun and so on, by bands on the More Music's roster, and then the latter half of the LP is some of those bands doing their own things, kind of indie electronica really, and some nice and interesting versions of classic New Zealand tracks. And I've been after that for a while and managed to pick up a second-hand copy at a pretty reasonable price, and also been after this for a while, and also picked this up second hand, but in great condition, unplayed, just a sticker mark on the front. This is a classic Fat Freddys drop based on a true story, what's often regarded or referred to as barbecue reggae, but this is the band who are best at it. And actually I think if they re-released this, that this would sell. You know, it came out in 2006 before a lot of the vinyl revival had really hit, and I think, you know, now when it does come up, it gets snatched up. Another second-hand one, and I was after this one for a long time. I was so pleased to finally see it. 3D's The Venus Trail, which means I have all of the 3D's 12-inch releases now and LP releases, not all the singles. And this is this is the 1993 album, and it got released on Fly Nun in the UK. I don't know if it got even a vinyl release in New Zealand. So this has got Hey Zeus, Beautiful Things, The Venus Trail, Summerstone, which is one of my favourites, Spooky, and nice artwork on there. Look at the inner sleeve here, artwork from David Mitchell. The 3Ds, that kind of perfect mesh of kind of indie guitar, noise, and pop. You know, just a magnificent band. One of my favourites, and so pleased to get that record. This was something I traded with Andre from Waxed on Wednesdays, who I've been doing a few radio shows with. This is Palo, which is again more kind of experimental, kind of guitar-based stuff. It's called Star of the Sea on Paluna Records in 1998, and I was after that for a while, and we did a bit of a trade for some things that I'd won in a competition, which was nice. And then on to, sorry I'm ripping through these pretty quick, but I just want to say I love reissues. You know, you get these records that are rare as hen's teeth, they cost a fortune, and if someone's going to come along and reissue it and I can pick it up, I'm more than happy. Take this for example. This is Ambivalence, compilation of the recorded material of the Pin Group. Recently, the first two singles by the Pin Group were up for sale on Trade Me, which is the New Zealand trading website. And one of them went for $675, the other $440. And then just in the last little while, this came out, which compiles those singles. Sure, it's not the originals, but man, you know, here I have on vinyl all that material. It's been remastered for this release, and you know, this was $30, not $1,000. Insert here, giving all the details of the tracks. It's on Flying Nun. Although, man, they're really keeping quiet about it. I don't think it's even listed on the Flying Nun website. It's listed for sale on a number of overseas sites. I did find it in a local record shop, though I haven't seen many copies of it. They seem to be keeping very, very quiet about it. But and what does it sound like? Well, back in the day, the early 80s, sometimes they would attract the graffiti Roy division, because Roy Montgomery does the vocals on here, has more than a passing semblance to Ian Curtis from Joy Division, but kind of early 80s post-punk, definitely a bit of Joy Division sound to it, but also got that kind of Flying Nun, that kind of Velvet Underground kind of sound on some of this as well. Really, really great songs. As I say, remastered for this release. It's so nice to have all of the Pin Group material on vinyl. It was compiled for a CD compilation in the 90s, which is also now out of print. So that's a great find. Great, you probably can't see it, but a black on black cover with a helicopter there. Another reissue, this is on Silk Breeze, Max Block. So Max Block put out an EP on Flying Nun in the 80s, long out of print, pay a fortune to get it now. It's side one of the LP, and then unreleased studio and live recordings on side two. This is originally kind of 86, 87 on Silk Breeze, and again you've got an insert here. Silk Breeze are also putting out that Dead Sea reissue that I talked about earlier, so a real kind of program of New Zealand alternative and indie re-releases at the moment coming out on that label. So This band features Mary Rose Crooks and Brian Crooks, who later went on to the Renderers, and much more kind of much more indie than the country sound of the Renderers, but yeah, really great to get that. Another reissue I was really pleased to see, as was this one, which is Above Ground Gone AIWA, and this originally received a cassette release in, when was it, 1983, and this is people thinking from Christchurch. I think Bill Doreen is involved. Don't know that much about it. They use false names on here, and this again got a Silk Breeze re-release in the last year or two. There's another reissue, David Kilgour, Here Come the Cars. What a great album. This is the first time out on vinyl. This has been jointly released by Flying Nun and Distill, S-T-I-J-L, and I never really heard this album in the 90s. It just kind of passed me by completely, but boy, this is fantastic. He's got such an amazing guitar sound, and you know, such a great guitar player. It just seems so simple, but there's so much going on there. Great songs. Yeah, I really highly recommend Here Come the Cars. And a few 7-inches as well. This is Melody's Echo Chamber, which is a woman who records on Fat Possum. But the reason I've picked this up is because the B-side of this amazing looking 7-inch is a cover of one of Melody's Echo Chamber song by the Unknown Mortal Orchestra, which is Ruben Nielsen's band, and they cover her song Endless Shore, and it's nice, kind of, the vinyl's fantastic, and if I take all the gunk out of here, you can see the see-through sleeve, looks great. I showed the Maxine Funke LP before on Epic Sweep Records. It's a guy in Wellington releasing great kind of underground New Zealand music in very limited runs of 100. Here's another he's put out, Marineville. They put out an album called Fell Swoop on Last Visible Dog Records, I think last year. Here's a new single from them, Face, Eat Toast. Kind of more poppy than the Fell Swoop album. And this features Greg Cairns, Jeremy Corbera, Denise Rowan, who was in the 3Ds course, and Mark Williams, just kind of, you know, 100 copies of that. And one more to show you. Put that back in their bag. Just while I'm doing that, let you know that on August the 25th is the next Counting the Beat radio show. A couple of hours of Kiwi music on vinyl. And probably the best way to actually catch up with all of those radio shows and the videos, you can go to countingthebeat.gen, that's gen.nz. And here's the last one I've got to show, Opossom, which Unknown Mortal Orchestra I showed before. That's Ruben Nielsen's band. Opossom is his brother Cody Nielsen's band. They were both in the Mint Chicks. Their new album, Electric Hawaii, and this has come out on a 12-inch LP, but it's also come out in this 3 7-inches, spread over 3 7-inches in this great sleeve on Fire Records from the UK. And the nice thing about this, have a look at this, so open it up, you've got the 3 colours there, and the three 7-inches white and coloured vinyl. 3 different colours of vinyl. They just look luscious, kind of bubblegum colours. So that's really lovely package from Fire Records, Opossom, Electric Hawaii. So yeah, pretty quick run through there. As I say, I really highly recommend the Bailterspace LP, Strobosphere, as I do with Opossom, Electric Hawaii, or that David Kilgour, Here Come the Cars. Thanks very much for watching, appreciate your comments and your feedback, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.